Number 10. This photo was taken in the attic at my workplace, a restaurant which used to be a house and a theater. There are quite a few close encounters by the staff with ghosts in the last 10 years, but now, finally, we have captured something on film. We believe this to be a shadow ghost that is haunting the restaurant where I work. Number 9. Taken in October 1972 by a professional photographer who was commissioned to take photographs of guests arriving at the wedding reception of friends whose son had just married in Paisley. The photo shows me on the left, my wife who was pregnant at the time, and friends. Crouching behind one of the figures is a spirit extra looking towards the camera and dressed in what appears to be open-toed sandals. The photographer said the negative also showed the spirit extra. He could not explain the photo. As far as he was aware, no one was behind the man when the photo was taken, and no one was there when he moved away. He said it would be impossible for anyone to crouch behind without the person being aware of their presence, and indeed without their body being visible to the person's left. Compare, for example, the size of the person's foot to that of the extra. The person with his hands behind his back would surely have felt someone behind him, right? Number 8. Captured by Sacramento Paranormal Investigating and Research Team during a recent investigation at the Camptonville Cemetery, here's what they have to say. This was taken by one of our new members, Lynn. The first one is the original. Number 7. This is a photo taken at the now abandoned psychiatric hospital in St. Crispin's in Northampton, UK. The person who grabbed the creepy shot stated, "The night was warm and cloudless, with a prominent full moon, and the building, of a large Victorian Gothic design, was and had been abandoned since 1995. I used a 20-megapixel Nikon bridge camera and took random pictures of the building as and when I felt. The building has been heavily vandalized and was recently partly burnt out in 2014. Most of the upper floor floorboards have either been burned or removed to deter vandals, so the chances of a living person being on an upper floor is next to none. The windows shown consist of no glass or plastic sheeting on the upper floors. They are either boarded up or gaping maws, and that is what makes this photo to me quite exciting. There was no reflection possible, no one in the burnt-out room, and nothing in the frame to suggest any pareidolia. I had taken a half-dozen shots at these windows, and only this one exhibited anything out of the ordinary. I'm not saying that it is anything supernatural, but considering the building's age and history, this image, when zoomed in, looks remarkably like a Victorian lady with a ruffled shawl over her shoulders. Next to her, less clear, could be another figure, but I cannot make it out. This was a third-floor room with no floor. Number 6. A really crappy photo of a person walking down the road, despite when the shot was taken. There was no one there at the time. Number 5. This is supposed to be the ghostly afterimage of a person who now haunts the location that was supposedly disturbed during recent renovations. Number 4. The Man in the Woods. It was said that while going through his photos, an avid hunter was looking through old pictures from the previous year's hunting season and found this. He says the trail cam is activated by movement, yet there were no pics of the entity anywhere else except in this photo. If that was a person, there would have been several photos where the person entered into the vision field of the camera, yet only this photo was taken. The area in which the photo was taken is on private hunting property, miles from any residential areas in northern Michigan. Also, at the end of October, it is usually quite cold and pitch black dark out where this photo was alleged to have been taken, making the entire thing even more disturbing. Number 3. This photo was taken in Huntington Beach on the 4th of July. Zoomed in more than the original, there is a white, robed-looking figure in the background. It is very odd, and I can't think of any explanation for what this could be. What do you think this odd capture could be? The woman looks very unusual and out of place. Number 2. An abandoned house was burned by arsonists during the night. Many witnesses heard someone calling for help from the inside. However, fire investigators found no one inside. That said, this capture is very chilling since we see someone looking out from the inside. Number 1. These pictures were taken out in the country, according to the details provided. This was not within 10 miles of the closest town. The closest house is about 5 miles away. With that knowledge, how do you explain who that was and what they were doing out there, especially so late at night?